Alright, so this is the Honor 600 Lite. It's been sitting on my desk for a past week, and I'll be honest with you, I almost didn't take this one seriously. Budget phone, okay, whatever. But then I started digging into what this thing actually brings to the table, and there are actually few things here that genuinely made me stop and pay attention. So, if you're shopping in a mid-range space and you want a real story, no flap, stick around. But before we get into it, if you are new here, hit subscribe. Every dirham you spend should be a smart one.
Starting with the box, Honor keeps things clean and minimal. No surprises. Pop it open and the phone sits right on top. Dig underneath and you'll find the usual suspects. A SIM ejector pin, a slim silicone case that actually offers decent day one protection, a USB-C cable, and a 45-watt charger. Yes, an actual charger in the box, which somehow still isn't a given in 2025. Nothing flashy, nothing unnecessary. Honor gives you exactly what you need and skips the filler.
First impression, it's clean, professional, and honestly, feels like it costs more than it does.
Design-wise, Honor clearly put in the effort. The 600 Lite comes in desert gold, velvet gray, velvet black, and this sprout green I've got here. The one to pick if you want something that turns heads. The back has a subtle texture that keeps fingerprints away, and the camera island sits flush and clean. One small detail I liked. The round flash doubles as the 108-megapixel branding, which is a nice touch.
Build quality surprised me too.
There's a precision-crafted metal frame, and at 7.34 millimeters thin and 180 grams, it feels lighter than most of its competition while still feeling solid in hand. Add 5-star drop resistance, up to 1.8 meters, and IP66 dust and water protection, and it's genuinely built to last.
Now the display is where it really pulls ahead.
A 6.6-inch AMOLED at this price is not something you see often. Most phones here settle for LCD. Blacks are deep, colors pop, and with 1.5K resolution, 120Hz refresh rate, and a peak brightness of 6500 nits, it holds up beautifully even in direct sunlight. Honestly, for what you're paying, it's tough to beat. Under the hood, the Honor 600 Lite is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 7100 Elite, a 6nm chip that strikes a smart balance between efficiency and performance for this price tier. You get 8GB of RAM, which can be expanded up to 16GB through RAM Turbo by borrowing from storage, alongside 256GB of internal storage.
Now the question, so how does it really holds up in a real-world use?
I ran it through a full round of benchmarks, and in day-to-day use, the results speak for themselves. Apps launch quickly, multitasking is smooth, and there's none of that frustrating lag that plagues phone at this price. Social media, streaming, productivity, it handles all of it without hesitation.
I also put it through some real-world gaming tests.
Here in Mobile Legends, locked at high frame rate, ultra graphics, smooth and consistent, even through the busiest team fights. Also in PUBG Mobile, running at smooth plus extreme frame rate settings. Gameplay felt responsive throughout, with only the occasional minor dip in particularly graphic-heavy zones. Nothing that disrupted the experience. With the Call of Duty, this is where you start to feel the limitations. Medium settings, 30 frames per second, perfectly playable. But if you're expecting a high-fidelity experience, like Genshin at max settings, you'll want to adjust your expectations. This isn't a gaming flagship, and it doesn't pretend to be.
That said, for casual to mid-tier gaming, it genuinely delivers.
The 120Hz display makes fast-paced games feel reactive and fluid, and thermal management held up well. The phone gets warm during extended sessions, but never uncomfortably so. On the software side, you're getting Magic OS X built on Android 16. Honor's skin stays clean and lightweight. No bloatware, smooth animations throughout. And with up to 6 major Android upgrades promised, this phone has some serious long-term value baked in. The rear camera setup includes a 108 megapixel main shooter, a 5 megapixel ultra-wide, and a 16 megapixel front camera. The sensor captures a significant amount of detail. Colors are vivid without feeling oversaturated, and Honor's processing does a commendable job keeping skin tones natural and skies looking true to life. Portrait mode performs well with stationary subjects. Edge detection is solid for standard shots. For everyday portraits, the background separation looks natural and convincing. Low light is where the budget sensor starts to show its limits. Without night mode, you'll notice noise creeping in and fine detail taking a hit. Switch night mode on though, and it makes a real difference. Not a dramatic transformation, but enough to get a clean, usable shot. On video, the main camera shoots up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. There's no 4K, which is worth knowing upfront. Stabilization is competent for handheld walking shots, and the footage is more than adequate for social media content and everyday memories. The 16 megapixel selfie camera is solid in good light, clean and more than enough for everyday shots. Low light brings in a bit of softness, but it's perfectly fine for social media. It shoots front video at 1080p 30 frames per second as well. Here's a sample clip for you to check out.
Alright, now this is the front camera of the Honor 600 Lite. It supports 1080p at 30 frames per second. And also this is the microphone test. So guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. At the end of the day, this camera shines in daylight. And that's where most of us shooting anyway. Low light is decent. Just don't expect miracles. But for an everyday phone at this price, it absolutely gets the job done.
Battery is where the Honor 600 Lite really stands out. Despite its slim profile, it packs a massive 6,520 mAh cell. And paired with the efficiency of the Dimensity 7100, real-world endurance is seriously impressive.
In my testing, even on heavy use, video, navigation, social media, calls, I was still sitting at 15-20% by end of the day.
Drop down to moderate use, and you're comfortably looking at a day and a half, sometimes two. Charging is handled by a 45-watt supercharge adapter that comes in the box. Not the fastest out there, but it gets you to 100% in around 90 minutes. Plug in while you're getting ready, and you're good to go.
No wireless charging though, but at this price, that's expected. What matters is that the battery life is strong and the charger is included in the box. Something phones twice the price still manage to get wrong. So who is the 600 Lite actually built for? If you're a student, a daily commuter, a professional looking for a dependable everyday device, or someone upgrading from an older phone and wanting a genuine step up without a significant spend, this is a strong contender.
You're getting a stunning AMOLED 120Hz display, reliable everyday performance, a 108 megapixel camera that excels in daylight, durable built with metal frame, and IP66 dust and water resistant, strong battery life with a charger included in the box, and clean, lightweight software on Android 16. Priced at 1,099 dirhams here in UAE, the Honor 600 Lite doesn't try to be everything. It picks its battles carefully, and on the thing that matter most to everyday users, it really wins.
Because sometimes the best phone isn't the one with the most impressive spec sheet. It's the one that just works day in and day out, and still has the battery that won't you actually need it. Alright, that's my full review of the Honor 600 Lite. If this review helped you make a decision, I will put the purchase link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow for more.